Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, today I'm talking about dumb books or books that are purely entertainment, not so much education. Now, clearly, there's a lot of books. In fact, there's probably more books that are all about entertainment as opposed to education. But as I talked about recently, I have a huge book collection and I love collecting books that are hobby based books. I have tons of books on knives, I have books on guns, books on Zippos, just anything I'm into. I like reading about, I like learning about all my different hobbies. Books on pipes, books on cigars. I mean, you name it, if I'm into it, I have books on the subject. And especially when I first get into a specific hobby, I dive right in and I start buying used books. Now, these particular books, these both have a story behind it, which I'll tell you, so it's kind of like a mini storytime video. But basically, on the left, we have a zombie survival guide, and on the right, we have how to survive a Sharknado. And if you've ever seen any of the Sharknado movies, you'll understand that this is pretty much as useless as the movies are. But it's entertaining, right? That's why you get it. If I just flip to a random page in here, let's see. There we go. I don't think in real life I will come in contact with a basilisk, okay? Or a stonado, stone tornado, or a firenado, or anything else in here. So yeah, as far as this book here, this one has some, it's actually kind of educational, but most of it's common sense, just basically everything you need to know about using different weapons, different ways to kill zombies. Towards the end, it gets way more humorous with, different entertaining things to do with the zombies, as far as like the zombie pinata, and there's a bunch of dumb stuff here, shooting them out of cannons, all kinds of crap. But yeah, it's entertainment, and that's usually not my style. However, I have accumulated a bunch of what I consider dumb books. Now, again, most people wouldn't say any book's dumb. It's just, you like it, you buy it, you read it. That's fine. But these are not books that I can read over and over again. These are a once over laugh, and then I donate them back to a library or I give them to someone or whatever. So yeah, I do have a bunch of these though. Most of them are zombie slash apocalypse type survival guides. And like I said, a lot of times there's some decent information in there if you like have no idea what's going on in life at all. Like important information like don't forget to eat, where to find water, like, I don't know, a large body of water. You may need to clean the water. These are things that should be common sense, but as I've been told by a lot of people, common sense, not so common these days, right? So maybe you do need a book to tell you don't forget to eat during an apocalypse. But generally speaking, it's entertainment and it's funny. Now, both of these books, when I was reading them, I chuckled to myself. I didn't literally laugh out loud or anything. I wasn't rolling around with stitches in my side because I couldn't catch my breath. But I had a little smirk on my face and I thought, that's funny. The one rule I have though when buying dumb books is not to spend much money at all. As you can see here, this has a 25-cent sticker on it. That's actually not what I paid. I got this book for free. This came from a garage sale that was in my area. And I'll tell you some other things I got at the garage sale. I got a couple of tennis rackets, which were in pretty damn good shape. And I think they were selling them for like 10 bucks a piece. They're nice graphite tennis rackets and some cases and stuff for them. Like I said, I think they're $10 a piece, but when I asked the guy, he said they were $5 a piece because maybe the wife, priced everything and he didn't know what was going on. I didn't notice the price tag until I got home. Actually went back and gave him the rest of the money, or at least offered to. He said, no, don't worry about it. So it was cool. So I got a couple of cheap tennis rackets. When I brought those to the car, I went back to look again and I found a box set of Indiana Jones, the DVDs. And so when I bought that, I think that was like maybe $7 or $8 or something. I asked, for the book too. I had it in the pile. And he's like, don't worry about it. The book's free. So it would have been 25 cents, but I got it for free, which is awesome. And yeah, I'll read most free books, especially if I think that they're going to be somewhat entertaining. But this book essentially just has a bunch of made up crap in here and like a scenario as to what you would do. Like this arachnoquake, right? So it's like a spider earthquake. So you can see here, also known as spiders of unusual size. First observed, New Orleans, 2012. Just some random and made up information. And then you can read about them and stuff. It's pretty dumb. So I say it's a dumb book. Like I said, some things made me laugh. Dino Nami, of course, Sharknado. how to wield a chainsaw like a boss, you know, because you need to know that. Like I said, it's a little entertaining, I guess. Ice Twister and so on. They do have Sasquatch in here, some crazy animals, or animal combinations. Saber-toothed tiger, obviously prehistoric. And then obviously it's broken, as you saw there, by land, sea, air. The dino shark, right? Haha, it's kind of funny, kind of dumb. Electro kraken. So, I don't know, electrified kraken. Yeah. I skipped through this in the beginning. Like literally, because when I was at the garage sale, I picked it up and went, oh cool, survival guide, Sharknado, wow, it's kind of funny. I thought the cover was a play on a survival guide, like trying to be humorous, but no, when I got home, I really flipped through it and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna learn anything from this at all. But I still, like I said, I still read it and, you know, fingered through it a little bit here. I didn't read on every made up animal or possible disaster, you know, scenario, but overall, like I said, a little chuckle. So that was worth it for free. Had I paid the 25 cents, still would have been pretty happy with that purchase. But that will go to a library, or like I said, I'll give it to someone. Stuff like this I'll throw in when I do trades with people. I'll just throw it in randomly. They'll open their box and there'll be a knife trade or something. They'll see the survival, or how to survive a Sharknado book, and they'll be like, what the heck is this? So a lot of times I do throw in little freebies here and there. This book I got from a library book sale at a blueberry festival. That's right. I don't even remember the town it was in. It was just some small town in Pennsylvania. Traveling through, they had signs everywhere for a blueberry festival. I thought, wow, that's cool. I like blueberries. Let's try it out. They had tons of stuff for kids, and the library was hosting a bunch of different events there. And they had probably 4 tents filled with books. My wife loves to read. She reads a lot of Agatha Christie books. You know, she likes the kind of mystery stuff. Like Sherlock Holmes, you know, meets Hardy Boys type stuff. So she finds that, you know, fun to read. And so she's, you know, ripping through all these different books. And I was looking around. Again, the first thing I do is I go right to the hobby section. Do you have any books on knives? Any books on guns? Collector's guides? Anything like that? Coins of the US. I'll even get that. Even though I don't specifically collect coins, I'll buy books like that. But yeah, it was a pretty good deal. It was like fill a bag for 20 bucks. This huge shopping bag, which I didn't find nearly enough books to make that worth it. And otherwise they were just like $1 a piece. And if you bought, like, I think it was 5 or more of the same author, they ended up being like 25 cents a piece or something crazy cheap. But for $1, I thought, all right, I'll take a chance on the Zombie Apocalypse Preparation Book. How to survive in an undead world and have fun doing it. So again, by the cover, I thought, all right, this is humorous. Guy's sitting there chilling, his rifle, and his bottle of booze, smoking a cigarette, his little boonie hat and his glasses, with a bunch of skeletons around him in the umbrella. Doesn't look panicked, you know what I mean? But yeah, $1 to the church there in the Blueberry Festival. I will say something completely off topic, which I thought was strange, and kind of dumb, to be honest, on the subject of dumb books. But it's a blueberry festival, right? Of course they have a bunch of baked goods, blueberry pie, right? Blueberry cobbler, blueberry whatever a la mode, you know? However, they had blueberry pizza, huge sign for it, right? I was curious. I was with my wife and my mother. We were traveling, like I said, through the area, saw it, and we like to go on adventures. So I said, all right, let's check it out, whatever. And I wasn't getting any pizza because I'm on a diet, obviously, or a lifestyle change. I will have pizza eventually, you know, in moderation once I'm down to a certain weight. But right now, pizza's a no-go for me. But I wanted to see what blueberry pizza, what are they going to do? You know, is the crust blueberry? You know, they have mushed blueberries inside the cheese. I don't know what was going to be, what to expect, right? So I get over to the stand just to check it out real quick, and they literally had a stack of pizzas from a local pizzeria. So they weren't even piping hot. They were just ordered and sitting there, kind of, you know, outside temperature, I suppose. And you had the option to put fresh blueberries on it. So let's think about this for a second. As most of you guys watching the video are educated enough to know, blueberries are just little balls, right? They're round. So they're not like mushed. There's not blueberry, you know, mush going on there, or puree, or like a blueberry drizzle, some kind of sauce. It was literally fresh blueberries on top of a slice of pizza. So I had a lot of fun watching people ordering this and trying to eat this thing, because the second they lift up the slice of pizza, all those little balls rolled right off their pizza. So they had a plate of fresh blueberries and a plain piece of pizza, which was strange. It would be strange to have fresh blueberries on pizza as it is, but if you use a little bit of common sense here, maybe you mush them up a little, you know, so you could put some blueberry paste or something on top of that So it'll stay and you can actually try it. I saw maybe 3 people while I was over there looking and, you know, soaking this information of the blueberry pizza. And out of the 3 people I saw order them, all 3 of them picked up the pizza and the blueberries just went everywhere. Literally rolled everywhere, and they kind of like took a bite of pizza and popped in a blueberry in their mouth and went, oh, okay, yeah, it's weird. No one liked it, no one liked the idea. But anyway, I'm not ripping on that in case someone from the Blueberry Festival is watching and is extremely offended by my criticism of the blueberry pizza. So, total unrelated side story. But yeah, this book, equally dumb, a little bit more informative. Like I said though, just really common sense stuff. You know, what's a scope for a gun? You know, what do you do with pistols as opposed to rifles? Different weapons. The lightsaber. You know what I mean? This is where obviously humor comes in. You can't buy a lightsaber. It's not going to be a lightsaber. If we get to the point where people actually fight with lightsabers, I doubt a zombie apocalypse will be much of an issue. We'll just jump in our little pods and you know, hover up to whatever planet we're living on at that point too. You know, go on vacation on you know, another planet, or the moon maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, all the different edged weapons. It's fun to read about that since I have such a fascination with you know, sharp stuff. But once I got past all that, like I said, the beginning is kind of more educational and fun to read. At least it was for me. Then you get into more of the humor. And like I said, towards the back there, all the different games you can play with the zombies as you kill them. But anyway, so yeah, I kind of want to make this video to talk about this briefly, but really just to interact with you guys and ask, you know, what kind of books do you read? Do you read just storybooks? I mean, obviously there's tons of categories of books. Some people just like fictional, you know, storybooks. Some people just like biographies, you know. Some people like history books. You know, my grandfather was an extremely avid reader. He would read a book every day. Literally, like every day, he'd sit and read a book instead of watching TV. You know, occasionally he did watch TV, whatever, but all of his retired years, he'd read, and he was a huge history buff. So he read about, I mean, pretty much every book there was about World War II and Vietnam, and he served in the Korean War, so he liked reading about that as well to say, yeah, this is true, and no, this is bull. So, of course, he tells stories and stuff, as grandpas do. But yeah, it was always fascinating to see how much he read, and he kind of got me into, you know, reading and enjoying reading. When I was a kid, I hated reading. I was the average teenager. Now, of course, there's plenty of kids out there that are educated and they love reading and it's fun. But most kids these days, much rather sit on a cell phone, play a cell phone game, you know, hop on, who knows what, Facebook or whatever, play Xbox, PlayStation, watch a movie. A plethora of other things to do besides reading books. I can't tell you last time, I mean, I'm not really looking, specifically looking for this, but I can't tell you last time I saw someone between the age of 10 and 18 just reading a book somewhere. Like I said, not really looking for it, but just don't really notice that ever. Ever. Even when I was in high school, I didn't really know anyone who just wanted to read or loved to read. Actually, that's not true. That is a lie, because I did have a friend, Quincy, who I may have brought up in past story times or whatever, but Quincy, his parents owned a bookstore. And he used to give me the hookup back in the day with the Goosebump books. You know what I'm talking about. You late 20-somethings. You know, actually, you know what? There's probably some younger kids that are into Goosebumps too. But yeah, the Goosebump books and the R.L. Stein books and stuff, I mean, that was where it was at. And there were some kids that liked those for a little while, but it was kind of like a, I don't know, it was a fad. It was a fad to get into that, and then that was it. And then the Goosebump movies came out, and then people watched the movies, and then no one cared anymore. But yeah, there was a little stint, I guess, where some of my friends and stuff were reading books. But that was when I was younger. That was way before high school. But anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this this topic. Just kind of turn the camera on and talk about this because I was putting these away. Yeah, just curious to see what you guys like to read. Besides books, who subscribes to any kind of magazines anymore? What kind of magazine subscriptions do you have? I do subscribe to a couple magazines. I do have a subscription to Cigar Aficionado, which is, as I've shown in a video before, mostly ads, but still, the information that's in there is good, and some of the articles are interesting. Don't currently subscribe to any knife-related magazines. Do get a couple gun mags. That's pretty much it. I had People for a really long time. I used to like reading People, but at some point my subscription ended and I just said, forget it. But it's just nice every now and again to just shut the TV off, shut the game system off, put the cell phone away, you know, and just read a book, especially in the summer when you're beautiful weather to go outside and read. It's really nice. But after going to this Blueberry Festival and seeing all these books, and my wife getting books, and she's reading a bunch now. Just starting to pick up the books again and start reading. I reread a couple books that I had already that I enjoyed. But stuff like this, I can't read over and over again. You know, like I said, this is a flash in the pan. You tell me a knock-knock joke, okay, cool. You tell me the same knock-knock joke 2 days from now, I'm gonna look at you with a dumb face, you know? That's what it's like reading these books. It's a one-time book for me. But anyway, if you happen to do any trades with me in the future, maybe you'll get one of these things. Because, like I said, the future for these particular books will probably be just a freebie thrown in a trade. But I don't know, just curious to see who else spends money on this kind of stuff. I would never be in like a Barnes and Nobles or any kind of major bookstore and just buy one of these things, especially at full price. You know, $8, $15. I mean, forget it. I would never spend that kind of that money on these. I would on a hobby book, and I have. I've been in bookstores and I've spent $25 on a big price guide for something I was interested in. I haven't recently, but actually talking about this it's getting my book juices flowing. I want to go to a bookstore and see what's available these days. I haven't been in something like a Barnes and Nobles in God, a couple of years now. But anyway, just a quick video on books. It'd be nice to hear who reads what, you know. And if you don't read anything, maybe you try it. Maybe you enjoy it. See what you like, you know. If you read a non-fiction book and you find it boring, read a fictional story. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe fantasy is your thing. Maybe romance is your thing to read, you know. Who knows? If you read a couple books before and you just didn't like it and you thought, I don't like reading, you might not be reading the right books. That's all. There may be something that's just interesting to you. Like me, when I was a kid, again, did not like to read. I was a lazy teenager. Why would I read? I could watch a cool movie, you know, listen to some great music or something. Why would I waste time reading? But, you know, got me to books, finding the right books, hobby books, you know, stuff I was interested in, I'd read the heck out of, and I'd read it over and over again. I'd try to absorb as much information as I possibly could and learn about that particular hobby. And that's what made reading fun for me. So it's cool. I'm just kind of, every so often I rediscover reading. I'm like, ooh, that's right, I can read. This is a fun way of entertaining myself besides the usual, you know. I happen to be a huge movie buff. I just love watching movies. I haven't been to a movie theater in quite some time. But just like, you know, Netflix stuff or whatever my wife happens to want to watch, I'll watch with her, and I like stuff like that. But you got to break away. Can't be staring at the boob tube forever. Anyway, I don't know, I'm rambling. I guess my point here is that every now and again I do rediscover reading, and it's fun. And even though these are dumb books, they were super cheap and free in this case, and I like them. I enjoyed it. So if you don't normally read, try it. You know, break away from the TV and your tablets and phones and stuff, and crack a book. You know, it's a very old guy thing to say, you know, or old lady thing. It's just an old thing to say. Is you damn kids with your games. But, you know, hey, there's some truth to that, you know. Sometimes reading a book's nice. So check it out. If you haven't experienced it before, you may like it. And for all the avid readers out there, give me some suggestions. Occasionally, viewers send me books, and every time a viewer sends me a book, I do read the entire book. It's interesting. I'm actually reading a book right now on how to get rich, have a good positive mindset, and be a successful person financially. So it's interesting. It's a good read. I've had people send books on diets, which are always interesting to read. Books on, obviously, hobby-related books. I've gotten knife books before and gun books before. But just random stuff. Some people read a book and they're like, wow, you know, I really like this. And that guy Jeff on YouTube, he may like it too. So that's always cool. That's always appreciated. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for some good books, a lot of you guys have watched the videos all the time. You know me. You know what I'm all about, what I may like or may not like. Give me some suggestions. Love to hear them. So that's all. And also, if you have any good websites for used books, because I haven't bought books online in a really long time. Anytime I'm actually buying a book, it's because I'm at a garage sale or a flea market or something, and it's just a bunch of books, super cheap. Like I said, I haven't been in an actual bookstore in quite some years now. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Just talking books. Love to hear your comments. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.